So, hello, how are y'all tonight? It's good, yeah? Okay, they're okay, you guys are dead, that's fine. You guys can meet in the middle later, it'll be fun. I have to say, life is glorious, really no complaints right now. It was just better for me. And it's, you know, people are just constantly coming up to me on the streets, you know, and saying, you know, Dr. Princess Lady Scoutington, because they know my name. They say, how do you do it? You know. They say, you are a virtually unknown performer, reaching dozens of people with your stand-up every year, making hundreds of dollars every month. It's a math joke. Whenever you're ready to laugh, it's fine. Now's good, but later for you in the back. Sounds like you're being more prepared. But they say, how do you do it and remain so thin? You know. Yeah, who didn't laugh at that? Fuck you. It's what you know, they say, isn't Pilates? And I can't even spell that. P-Y-L lattes. You know, I don't know. Latte, I know that word, but I don't think that's what we're getting at there. They say, do you jog? I say, only when chased. You know, that's true. They say, are you bulimic? The answer to that is only when I drink. That's true. It's a gluten intolerance I discovered in college, and I was majoring in whimsy and tra-la-la. No, the actual answer to keeping the figure I have is I'm actually just nuts. You know, and I'm skinny because I'm kind of like worrying that I'm worrying about you and you're worrying about me, and then I just end up Saturday nights alone in my apartment, Googling things and Facebook stalking my ex and making sure the new girlfriend's much uglier than I am, so she is. Professional organizer, that seems like a stupid, she's dating a professional organizer. I'm organized. Organization's not my middle name, I'll admit, like who uses their middle name? Oprah doesn't use a last name, and she's fucking fine, okay? So I don't need, you know, but just for the sake of the argument, I'm gonna go Google feng shui, you know, because I'm into Googling. I'm a hipster. Google, Kickstarter, things like that. Google feng shui, you know, and I go rearranging furniture, and I'm hot, so I go downstairs and pick up a 40 of beer and go upstairs and drink it and just keep Googling, you know, and I start thinking really hard, and I finish that first, I have to go back down to the bodega, and at this point I'm wondering why we're calling it a bodega. This man clearly is not Spanish at all. He's he's Middle Eastern, you know, but I guess bodega, we can't really probably pronounce that word in Arabic, so it's just polite to use foreign language. I don't even know at this point. I'm like dealing with internalized racism, you know, but I had to go get another 40, so I go to pick up the 40, and he goes, why don't you just buy a 6-pack, you know, and then I'm like, I'm going to repeat that accent later until I get more racist, because I'm not even close to the way he said. That's the best I can do, because, you know, I didn't go to drama school, I majored in whimsy and tra-la-la, and then he went into the 6-pack, and I'll go, well, you know, because I drink 40s when I'm working on my screenplay. And I'll walk upstairs and like titled My Screenplay by Dr. Princess Lady Scoutington, and then I'll get depressed again and re-Google my ex. You know, so it's like in my head, it's the reason I'm thin is it's like burning calories in a panic. Staying fit means staying manic. I'm not skinny, I'm nuts. Thank you. Yeah, good. You know, you make choices in life and you have to stick with them. Some of you guys have heard this, but we're gonna say it again because I get to do that. I'm taller than you, I'm on the stage, so I can make decisions for the group. So when I was young, I really looked up to my dad, which I think I had a great dad, a really remarkable guy. You know, everyone loved my father. Except my mother, but that's a whole other, that's why I'm here, but that's not where I'm going with the joke. That's not the point of this. But so I was crafting as a young one because I knew I was going to grow up and bedazzle professionally, which I'm always amazed. This is what I do for a living. And like, what? You can just tick off like bedazzling random articles of clothing? Yep, that's a job. You do that now. And I'm very poor, but it's okay because they don't call them sad meals. You know, they call them happy meals. Yeah, I'm on a very strict diet. It's called poverty. It works really well. Poverty and stressorexia. So I really wanted my dad, you know, to love me and respect me. So I was crafting. I had an X-Acto knife, and I was about 8 years old. And that's a sharp instrument. Does anybody know what an X-Acto knife is? Yeah. Really, there's like 7 people back here I think are just blow-up dolls, which I'm into. I'm just worried about your own happiness. So, okay, ignore me. Do what you're doing. It's fine. That's better for me too. I was cutting the X-Acto knife, and then my dad's like, "Hey, Scouter." Dad calls me Scouter. "Hey, Scouter, that's a pretty sharp knife for an 8-year-old. Are you sure you can handle it?" You know, don't question my authority, Dad. And I couldn't just say yes. You know, I had to really like assert my dominance. So I thought, I'll show him I'm the best X-Acto knife wielder there is. And so I just thrust the knife into the air. Thinking, you know, in my head, what was going to happen was it was going to twirl around, I would catch it like a ninja, and keep cutting, and Dad would motherfucking know that I could use the X-Acto knife. What actually happened was I threw the knife into the air, it's like high enough that we can both look at each other and be like, shit, you know, or I was like, slushies, I don't know what, some little curse word I said as an 8-year-old, and when I'm and then it landed straight in my leg. Yeah, like made a noise, like Hannibal Lecter was like, yes, but it was me there, and I didn't want to, but I stuck to this decision, you know, that I was through the knife and I was going to impress my dad, so I had to continue on the path of impressing him, even though I was bleeding, and so I just maintained eye contact with him, wrapped my tiny little fingers around the X-Acto knife, ripped it out of my leg and kept crafting. And was like, yeah, Dad, I'm good. And so at that point, like, I'm thinking, like, I showed him, and he's like, oh my God, I'm raising a serial killer. You know, but it turns out I'm just a comedian, so it's okay. You know, serial killers might make more money, but I, you know, eat cereal 3 meals a day, so that balances out somewhere. And, you know, and then I've always made bad decisions. Later in life, we went to the Sound of Music sing-along, you know. Good, yeah, I had no feelings about that either. Are you guys retarded? It was so much fun. So we went, and there's all these things you're supposed to do, like when, you know, when they like kiss, we go, boo, and then like when the Nazis come out, you're supposed to be like, boo, right, boo the Nazis. That's logical. Most people hate Nazis. I think that's a collective we can gather together and boo the Nazis. But I could not. I in fact had to, when everyone was booing, just stand up and shout, they were working in the nation's best interest, and then duck back down under the seat. My mom just looked at me like, why? I was like, I don't know, it flew out of my mouth. I have no control over this thing. They just, like, I've just conditioned, you know, it's called, oh God, what is it? It's, verbal diarrhea is what I have. I can't control it. You know, you gotta go insult strangers, and that's kind of what I do, walking down the street daily. And I am, well, let's do this, I think, you know, choosing the conversation that I am. I went through a very difficult breakup about, now it's been close to 3 years, so that's okay, I survived, and I ended up finding an amazing girlfriend, and I'm so thankful for that, and thank you so much. Yeah, I was actually dating myself, which was great. No, you know, I went to all my shows, and I was extremely supportive, you know. I'm like, oh, I'm so fat today, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, that's my girlfriend, you know, I'll kill you, and I'm like, that's my girlfriend, so, and this, you know, the sex, of course, was, like predictable, but I could tell I was trying, so I stuck with it, you know, buying myself flowers and things, and I loved dating, you know, around, because I feel like you get to judge people in a way that you could normally have to hide, but when you're dating, you could go, no, you're done, I don't want you anymore, and I ended up dating a girl in New Jersey, which is that's a whimsical choice, like, you live in New Jersey, let's try to make this work, like, eventually, wanting that relationship was going to turn New Jersey into the borough of Brooklyn. It didn't. But I was on a bus out to New Jersey, and there was someone in the front of the bus seizing, having a seizure. And it was very stressful, you know, for me, because I was trying to listen to my iPod, and I was in the back, and someone was like, oh my God, everybody speaks Spanish, and I was like, oh, you know, for the love of Natalie Portman, I hablo un poco de español. So I'm trouncing up to the front of the bus, you know, to try to be helpful kind of against my will, and I was like, guys, I do speak Spanish. That man's Asian. And then we were fucked, because none of us spoke Asian. I think we all realized then that New Jersey was racist. Okay, guys, I'll be back in a little bit. You guys have been good. You guys.